mentally and emotionally, and but I like the track we're on, and our health is good. A couple guys that won't be available most likely are Cam Griffin and Deion Hollins with concussion-like symptoms. They both have made tremendous improvement, but we will make sure that they're 100% and completely cleared before we ever put them back out there. So it's been good.
Is Tack all right to go?
Tack's good to go. Alex Van Dyke's good to go. So we're excited about those things.
Austin Roberts came back.
Austin practiced 3 days in a row, so he's good. We had him in a red jersey on Monday, and he was fine. And then the last 2 days, he's been, white jersey, full speed, good to go.
What's kind of your schedule these next couple of days?
You know what? We don't really talk about our schedule
Right.
publicly.
But you leave tomorrow, right?
We leave tomorrow, yeah.
What would you say is kind of your biggest worry on this game?
I don't know that I'm worried. I just want to just see how we respond. We've had a great off season, a tremendous spring. Fantastic summer camp, great week this week, and so that lends itself to really good feelings on the team. But we also know that we're going against a great opponent in a very difficult environment, and there's going to come a time in that game, and more than once, where we're going to have to rebound. We're going to get hit in the mouth, and we're going to have to recover. And so I'm anxious more than anything just to see us respond, because I think we've made tremendous growth in that area. And so, not that I want to see it happen, but I know that it's going to happen, and I want to see how we recover.
Was there something about this particular offseason that made it better than previous off seasons? You've said it's been so good.
I don't believe that anybody in our program was satisfied with the way last year finished, and I think that being competitors like we all are, it just kind of reignites a passion and a motivation and a level of commitment that maybe for some reason, had subsided a tiny bit, and so that's what I felt.
When you've done so well going on the road, how do you reproduce that again when you've done it before?
I just think it's a level of confidence that you have knowing that you can handle those situations. We've been in some difficult environments against some really good teams, and we've performed well, and those guys know that. So I think that they know how to respond. The guys that were with us in 2013, which isn't a lot of them, but there's a few. Remember going to Nebraska and getting down, I think we were down 21 points. We were coming off an incredibly emotional week. We found a way to recover and come back and win that game, in a tough environment. So you just gather confidence and you gather strength from past experiences.
Is there a little bit of a feeling that when you're on the road, it's kind of you against the world as opposed to being home? Is there that kind of sense which makes it better?
Well, I don't know better. I mean, we love playing at home because, there's nothing like going out to the Rose Bowl and playing in front of our fans. But, once again, as a competitor, it's the ability to kind of close ranks, lock arms and walk into a hostile environment with a mission and a singleness of focus and purpose, and being able to try to accomplish that mission that I think stokes the competitiveness in these guys. And so, I don't know if you ever put it at us against them. It's just, hey, the odds are stacked here. This is going to be tough, but this is when our true character is going to reveal itself, and I think these guys really embrace that.
You don't, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't release a formal depth chart, correct?
No.
What's kind of the thinking there? I mean, I know it's mostly for fans and media, but is there a philosophy behind that? Or?
I could tell you this. I can tell you that our starting offensive line is Connor McDermott, Kenny Lacy, Scotty Quisenberry, Pawasi Moala, and Colton Miller, and our starting quarterback is Josh Rosen. I can tell you that our starting defensive line consists right now of Eddie Vanderdoes and Ida Anku, and our starting safeties are Randall and Jaleel, and everybody else mixes in. So to release a depth chart would be disingenuous, because we don't have a depth chart. It's so fluid, and so many players contribute. Everyone wants to, if you all of a sudden list a guy like, let's say you list player X as your third team slot, but he plays a third of the plays. Is he really your third team slot? No. So that's the reasoning. I mean, Plus, nobody tells me I have to. So in the NFL, you have to. Here, you don't have to.
Would you say that's more particular to this team, or is that something you've always done without not having that chart?
Well, at UCLA, I've
UCLA.
always done that. In the NFL, you had to do it. So my years in the NFL, I released a depth chart because it was mandatory. At UCLA, I couldn't release a depth chart because we don't have a depth chart. We have a stable collection of guys that we know that can contribute, and then each week, depending upon what we're doing, who we're playing, how they're playing, health, it's very, very fluid. So it's not to be sneaky. It's not to try to confuse our opponents or not let them know who's playing. I mean, as a matter of fact, that's the furthest thing from my mind. I don't really care about a depth chart. It just doesn't make sense to me at this level with our team and how many guys contribute.
You made a decision on number 1 jersey?
I have. Yes, I have. No, I cannot. You'll be able to see it on Saturday at 2:39 kickoff, CBS.
When you're creating an offensive game plan for a game like this, do you specifically scheme away from Garrett and Hall?
Well, I don't think you can go into any game just saying, hey, we're going to run away from these guys. First of all, you'd have nowhere to run. But you have to be cognizant of where they are and what their capabilities are, and you have to have answers if they become as disruptive as they're capable of becoming. Your players have to win, and you have to help put them in position to win. You have to give them help when they need help. And so we'll do that. One of the things about having a tight end is it gives you a little flexibility to maybe widen an edge a little bit, take a little something off a pass rusher at times. Of course, when you do that, when you take a little something off a pass rusher, you eliminate a guy's ability to get into a route as well. So there's always give and take. So at times our players, they're going to have to win one-on-one battles. At times we're going to help them.
I haven't watched Texas A&M's defense. Do they line up weak side, strong side, or do they stay on the same? I mean, will you know a matchup? Like, will Connor go up against Garrett?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they'll move them around. And you always go into that first game, that they've gone through their off season and they've looked at ways to, improve themselves defensively. And so there will be tweaks and there will be unscattered looks, things we haven't seen that we'll have to adjust to on the fly. We just have to play well. Really, we have to go out and we have to execute and we have to, be focused and disciplined and play through, some adversity that's going to be inevitable. And we have to help our players be in position to make plays to win.
Is it fair to say that there's more adjustments to be made in the first game of the season than any game, just because you haven't seen anything on this team and you're on the fly with a lot of stuff?
I would say that's fair. Yeah, I think that there's so many unknowns. There's so many players that on our team that we really haven't seen in this type of environment, and they're going to have to step up and perform, and I'm confident that they will. There's also, the factor of not having any film of, what your opponent has done to this point in the season. After the first week, you start to get a feel for any philosophical changes they may have made in the offseason. So the first game, there's much more unknown.
How do you prepare for that? Is there just kind of mentally prepared and ready to be flexible when you're on the field? Or?
Well, every defensive concept, every offensive concept, every special teams concept has a set of rules, and hopefully your rules take care of any unscouted looks. It's being able to fall back on your rules, how we count players from outside in or inside out or alignments or shades. I mean, there's only so many things you can do. And if you just stick to your rules, and you don't get flustered, and you figure it out quickly, and you make the adjustments you need to make, then you can have some success. And you have to remember that they have the same issue as well, So it could be a little feeling out early, probably. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.